Alrighty. Hey everybody. Sorry, it's been a bit since I made a video. I've just been so busy with work, and then I've been feeling kind of sick over the last couple of days. It's just been a bit of a mess. Ah, jeez, come on. Why is my connection wanting to act like garbage today? That doesn't bode well. Guess I won't be streaming. Even though I really wanted to this morning. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of things. One, I wanted to talk a little bit about the speculation for the new chapter coming out ahead on this May, or actually this June is when it should be fully released. But on May 25th, we'll be seeing the 5th anniversary of the stream for Dead by Daylight. I know I'm a bit late coming into the conversation, but I wanted to wait for a little more information and for thoughts to come out because we really had nothing to go on when the information was first released. So we know for a fact, confirmed by behavior, that the next chapter for the 5th anniversary is going to be Resident Evil themed. Now this is great. Like, this is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, horror license there is. And not to mention, Resident Evil is also celebrating their 25th anniversary, so it's poetic in a way. So, all we know for the moment is that, well, that's literally all we know for sure, but there's been some speculations coming out. There's a rumor, for instance, that the killer will be one of the women from Resident Evil 8, Lady Dimitrescu, or her daughters, one of them most likely. That's what some people think. I'm kind of hoping not personally, because they're too new and they don't really have much of a reputation as outside of memes, and it would feel like just advertising for the game, and that would be a pretty big waste of an opportunity to do a collab with Resident Evil, or Capcom in general. This rumor has been sparked up mostly by two things. One of the weapons of the daughters, a sickle, is roughly in the shape of a 5. So some people think that might be a teaser. And also, I haven't seen this myself, but supposedly, when you're wandering around the castle in Resident Evil 8, you can hear Meg, like Meg from Dead by Daylight, screaming somewhere in the background. So, once again, this is not confirmed, but if that's, me and my buddy are kind of worried about the implications of that. So why do I not want them in the game, aside from that? Well, aside from my previously stated reasons. Well, honestly, it's because if you're going to do a chapter with Resident Evil, I feel like you should be going for one of the OGs, like one of the killers that have been iconic for years and years and years. My heart, personally, is set on Nemesis, as I think about 80% of people who want a Resident Evil chapter were hoping for. I mean, he's just like the obvious choice. He's like, because for one, he's an old, famous character. Secondly, he had a Resident Evil 3 was remade not too long ago, and he got a new fresh coat of paint, a whole new look, and I think he would just look fantastic in Dead by Daylight if they implemented him correctly. And then, I mean, I can't really say much more than that. They have a lot of potential with him as well. They could make him around having like a flamethrower or even a rocket launcher if they balanced it properly. There's all kinds of stuff you could do with Nemesis. I don't know, I haven't seen any footage of Resident Evil 8. I've been waiting to watch anything about it till I finished watching a H.C. Layers Resident Evil 7 gameplay. Because I wanted to, because I heard that the character from Resident Evil 7 is also the main character from Resident Evil 8, so I wanted to make sure I understood the character before I watched any footage about the game. I was considering playing it myself, but I'm not trying to buy any new games right now until I get a PS5, and I'm still working on that, and I don't want to wait that long, especially since there are other games I have higher on the priority list anyway. Anyway. So, yeah, that's all the news we really have for the moment. I also saw another oh right, yeah, I did see one more theory. There was also one guy who made a theory that it could be Resident Evil 2 or 3 themed, which would be Nemesis, but because he even showed images of this, the style at which they wrote the 5th year anniversary logo was, oh, it's a Wraith. Okay. I just can't believe this whole time I didn't even know who the killer was. Gosh, this poor Wraith. It was written in the same art style as the PlayStation 1 Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis games. So, and since they used the logo as their main teaser last year with Pyramid Head, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say they would do it again, but at the same time, it might also be a bit too obvious, and, you know, behavior's kind of like that sometimes. There's also that Meg screaming in the castle thing, which, if that's the case, it might just be a fun Easter egg and not a hint. It might just be a fun little Easter egg to celebrate the little collab. After all, when Dead by Daylight introduced Pyramid Head and the Midwich Elementary School, the Midwich School, they implemented an Easter egg into their own game. If you complete 2 specific generators, then you'll open up this like secret room. You'll open up a secret room that, if I recall correctly, was a save point in the old... Oh, jeez, what are you doing? Okay, well, at the least he had the good sense to run borrowed time. Oh man, this is a... Okay, there we go. So Bill did have Unbreakable. I figured he would. So at least he's not completely rid. He's not a complete dum-dum. Decisive. Oh man. DS and Unbreakable. Those perks will just absolutely demolish your pressure. Although he was kind of asking for it. So, you know. Can't say I feel too sorry for him. He's got the fast cloak. That's an odd pick. Blindness. Huh. Whoa! What the hell? Well, the servers decided to go laggy. Anyway. And then there was the second topic I wanted to talk about. And that was killer quality of life. So, I feel like lately, outside of a few polishes to like animations and icons, killers haven't really received much in the way of polishes at the base level, at least. Now, like for instance, Blight just yesterday supposedly got updated, so the console version of him has a better turning than before, which is like really good because currently his turning on console is absolute garbage. Whenever he's using his power. But I feel like at the core base, Killer has not received any decent quality of life updates for a while. Survivors, in the patch before yesterday's patch, had just received and updates, which made it to where there's always an obsession. So this has pretty big implications because it means there's never a tell when there's no DS. The killer is always flipping a coin as to whether or not the survivor has DS or not. Which, I'm not saying that's a bad change. I mean, I'm kind of iffy on it because it's just given for free to, and I don't know. Overall, I think it's healthy because it makes it to where killers are less likely to tunnel. Although, if they really wanted to go that far for tunneling, they should just implement a new mechanic to help with that. But it's a slippery slope because the balance of the game is kind of... it's kind of already leaning towards Survivor, so... Oh shit, well that's NOED. That is very, very unfortunate. Oh, I thought she was dead. And so I figured that since Survivor's got a pretty big quality of life update this time, I feel like killers should be considered for one as well. The one that comes to mind, the one that I feel like will actually feel like a really good change, but also at the same time not affect balance in a super high way, would be to... Ah, damn it. I can't save her. Even if I could get over there in time, the Wraith is probably camping her and he has NOED. Damn it. Sorry, buddy. Yeah. And so I feel like the FOV of killers should be adjusted. The problem with that is the devs apparently view the FOV as a balancing aspect, which nobody has really given me much of a reason as to why that is when I asked about it on the forums and made them post of it mentioning that they should be checking into that and trying to improve it. All I got were some replies saying, oh, well, it prevents survivors for, it's a buff to nurse, and I'm like, I'm like, you're acting like this is gonna all of a sudden fundamentally change nurse. It's not. If Shadowborn itself isn't overpowered, or even considered a strong perk, or even that much of a usable perk, then I very much doubt increasing the FOV a little is going to really do anything. It's so stupid. And, but nobody, and they're like, oh well, the juking and window attacks and all that shit require a killer to have these blind spots that they frankly shouldn't have, because it relies on those. It's like, well, then they shouldn't be there then, now should they? If the only reason that you're able to pull off something is because the killer has an unfair disadvantage on vision, then it shouldn't exist in the first place. If you want a juke of killer's hit, it shouldn't be only happening because you can move 2 steps to the right and all of a sudden you're out of the killer's vision. No, it should happen because you did good movement and you actually did a proper juke. At that point, you're just coining in on the fact that the killer has to swing blind, and that's really stupid. The killer should not have to swing blind and pray to Jesus that they fucking hit you because they can't see what they're swinging at. It's just messed up to me. It's really messed up. Alright, let's try out Blight while I'm talking about this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Shadowborn on. And I'm going to basically try to like show you what I kind of hope killer FOV might look like in the future. There's been a high demand for... There's been a pretty high demand lately for what I've been talking about, because I saw multiple forum posts almost right after I posted mine talking about the same issue. Because killer FOV has been one of the most, or an FOV slider has been requested for a while. Because one of those is like, oh well, I get motion sick at higher FOVs, and some get it at lower FOVs. It's like, well, you know what? It's really straining to the eyes on lower FOVs, and if you put in an FOV slider like every other game these days, you wouldn't have this problem. Like, devs, if by some miracle you see this, you guys need to really think about, I mean, you guys say it has balance implications. What implications does it have? Okay, so survivors may have a slightly harder time doing things that were not part of the intended game design in the first place, nor are they necessary for the game's health. You can't honestly be telling me this game's balance is being held together by the fact that a killer has to that a survivor can 360. You said yourselves it was never an intended thing. So please try to at least consider that before you just say, hey, we're not gonna do this and we're gonna stick with this bad FOV even though people hate it just cause. I mean, that's just not a good answer. I really don't think, like, and you could easily mitigate this. Like, give us the FOV slider so that people can choose for themselves what FOV they want, so that eliminates the motion sickness issue. Remove the FOV boost from Shadowborn and Monitor and Abuse, or and anything else that it's on. I can't think of anything else off the top, but there might be more that I haven't seen or forgotten. And then just rework Shadowborn. You don't need to do anything with Monitor and Abuse. People only use it for the terror radius decrease anyway. Nobody uses that shit for the FOV because it keeps zooming back and forth depending on whether you're in a chase or not. It's not that big of a deal. You gotta see the big picture here, devs. Like, this would help the game quality of life feel much better for Killer, and you can't honestly be telling me it's going to change the balance so much that you have to actually be afraid of it. Give me a break. Otherwise, Shadowborn would not be allowed to exist. Or it would be one of the most popular perks in the game to run. The only people who run Shadowborn are usually streamers because they like the vision. And if that's the case, then Stretched Res is straight up cheating. In your terms, it is straight up cheating, and it should be, and anyone who's using it should be banned, both killers and survivors. And yet you don't do that. You just let people do it, and they do it openly. Anyway, so that's kind of how I feel on that situation. There's a few things they could do for killer quality of life changes, but I feel like that one's the most important because it has a decent impact on the feel of the game. It makes it to where using the killer doesn't feel really dumb and awkward at times, because some killers especially feel really bad with the FOV being the way it is right now. I think Pyramid Head's like one of the better examples. He's got such cramped vision because of the big old sword on his screen and the smaller FOV. It just makes him feel a bit rough. But that's basically what I wanted to go over, so let's see if I can't get a little bit of light gameplay. Now see, here we go with Shadowborn. This is all I want. I just want them to be able to increase it to like Shadowborn level, or have a Shadowborn level at base. Now this feels pretty good, but is it seriously giving me that big of a gameplay advantage? I don't think so. I don't really think it's changing much of anything at all. Which is why when I got people telling me that it's going to break the balance of the game somehow, why I look at them like they're idiots. Oh. Oh my gosh. It's so laggy. Oh my god. Aw, there goes my Hex Ruin already. But you see, I like how this feels. It makes it feel like I'm going faster. And it just feels less cramped on my screen. I can actually see. And you really telling me these survivors are really being that disadvantaged by it? Come on now. I don't know, that's a load of horse crap. Where did Claudette go? Hold up. Holy fuck. I'm not used to being able to turn this much. Oh my god. Wow, they really did fix him. Like, that's actually crazy. Oh. Holy shit! Well, I can say the Blight update was definitely meaningful. Holy hell, I'm used to not being able to turn at all with this guy. This feels awesome, but at the same time, I'm like, holy hell. Oh, hello. Oh, dude, I swerved all around that shit. Damn, I slid off that. Someone's on it. That's your ass, son. Alright. Now allow me to go pop those weasel that gem. This feels nice. I like this. This is exactly why I'm trying to go. This is why I've been advocating for this. Because it feels really good to have. But you can't tell me that it's really giving me that big of a gameplay edge. If any at all, really. Oh. I can't get him around those boxes. That's fine. Just break this and get it over with. Oh, I was not expected to run at me, okay. Oh, I see. Oh my gosh. Alright. Sorry, this gameplay has been kind of mediocre. This isn't really that great of a Blight map. And I don't play him. I haven't played him as much as I should have. No, I couldn't. That would have been really cool, though. Oh. Come on, man. Holy shit. I'm trying to get used to this. I keep flying past everything. I'm overestimating. I mean, I'm overcompensating for my turns. There's so many pallets. Why do they have all the pallets? do anything there. Oh! That could have been awesome. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Well, I mean, at least we got to try out the blight changes. I've just been less incentivized to play DBD lately, and it's clearly showing. This is definitely a change I gotta get used to, though. Because Blight's become a lot more fun with this. A lot more usable, for sure. Oh, I teleported. Alright, cool. This connection definitely hasn't helped with me trying to play this match, that's for sure. Randomly teleporting and twitching and things not registering properly definitely had a big impact. Oh well. But still, trying out these new changes was a lot of fun. There we go, burn your sprint burst, because I already know you have it, Claudette. No sense in trying to pretend you don't. But yeah, I just like how zoomy and everything that Shadowborn makes everything feel. Which is why I feel like it should be a killer QOL. I mean, I don't understand the concept of a perk causing your FOV to change. That just... there's just so much wrong with that. He took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. And get out of here. Your borrowed time's up. I swear, if you're using that stupid perk. Claudette, what are you doing? That doesn't sound right. Well, at least I left with 2. But yeah, you see, everything feels less janky and stuff, and everything like blends in better. That felt pretty smooth to get that hit on her just now. It didn't feel like the jittery mess it usually feels like on console D&D, not D&D, DVD. It's just a perfect example of what I was talking about. But once again, can anyone that's watching this video think of a single reason that I caught somebody or found somebody only because of Shadowborn and nothing else? Because when people argue stealth, I'm like, how does this affect stealth? If you're hiding behind an object, the killer's not all of a sudden going to gain X-ray vision because their FOV increased by a few points. and they can't see over things better because the FOV of Killer is in first person. So widening the FOV upwards would just make it easier to see things upwards, not over things. That's not on Survivor. That's how it works, because the camera is floating above their head in third person. That's an entirely different thing. But, you know, I've said my piece. Anything more than that at this point is just rambling on. Because frankly, I can't see, nobody's given me a good reason on the forums, and nobody's given me a good reason in general why this would be a bad thing. In fact, everybody who actually has a clear sense of what I'm talking about, and a clear sense of making the game better, has so far felt, yeah, this would be a really good quality of life change for Killer, and make Killer feel nicer to play. Anyhow, like I said, I've said my piece. I appreciate you all watching this video. Once again, sorry it took me so long to get one out, but I wanted to talk about these two topics, and since they both were relatively short ones. And yeah, you got some Survivor gameplay and some Killer gameplay. Although neither one was all that interesting, which I apologize for. I'll try to get some better stuff in the future. Anyhow, I hope you all have a very good day. Happy International Nurses Day for those of you who are watching this on Wednesday. And yeah, I will see you all later.